I'm Diarion, and welcome back to Daily Dancer Live. Today I have a few guests with me. Why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Courtney Danielle. I'm a world famous actress and sound designer. You all know my name, but let's be real, I'm quite famous.
And I'm Carly Childress, also known as Car. I'm sure everyone in the audience knows me. I'm a world famous choreographer. I've choreographed for many people that you know, Beyonce, Rihanna, Billie Eilish, Doja Cat, all of them. Name them, you know me. Glad to be here.
Amazing. All right, that's our guest. And yeah, so let's get started. Today we are discussing the Roaring Twenties. Y'all know what the Roaring Twenties is?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Explain it to me in your own words.
In my own words.
Yes, ma'am, in your own words.
Well, I would say the 1920s were a roaring time.
The 1920s was a very important time for dance as well. That was when the Charleston type dance movements were introduced.
Correct. Okay. So yes, the Roaring Twenties was definitely a time of prosperity. You know, lots of automobiles were produced. In-home stuff that you needed, like stuff that we have today, washing machines, dryers, toasters, all the simple stuff. And then you wonder, like, what did they use before they had those things? You know?
You do wonder.
Yeah,
Good question.
I wonder. Okay. So the Roaring Twenties was also a time of new freedom for women, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So women were able to vote in the 1920s.
They sure were.
They were. It was easier for them to get divorced. So they were leaving their husbands. They was, I'm not sitting around the house all day. I'm gonna go dance. I'm gonna go be a flapper. That's what they said.
Yeah, I'm
So,
really flapper.
women were also working more. During World War I, they had to get jobs because their husbands wasn't working, and they still had to live in their house and pay the bills
They sure
because
did.
you know they don't care if your husband at war.
Independent woman.
They still want them exactly independent woman, and that's why they was leaving their husbands. So you're a world famous choreographer.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm sure you studied the dances of the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to elaborate on that or give a
I
demonstration?
could show. Let me just.
Thank you.
So, this is a little 1920s step for you. Little kick, bend, kick,
Yes.
hey, what, hey, what, hey.
Wow, okay.
Impressive.
That was interesting.
What can I say?
Speaking of demonstrations, I did want to show you guys a video from the 1920s and of people doing the Charleston dance. So let's take a look at the screen right there and I'll show you. that was a good video. What did y'all think of that?
Oh,
I loved
really-
it.
That was really great.
Okay,
Really good.
yeah. So as you can see, dances like that were really targeted towards the younger generation of people.
Mm-hmm.
The older people, they were still doing the salsa and stuff like that. But the young people, they love these new dance crazes. Like the Lindy Hop, the Jitterbug. That was a good one. But the most popular one was definitely the Charleston. Yep. So you know the dance originated from the song "The Charleston" by Jimmy Johnson. Did y'all know that?
I did not.
Yeah. So the song was by Jimmy Johnson, and this new dance craze, you know, it really defied social norms. Not just with the dance style, but also what they wore. Women didn't wear no corset no more. They took them off. They was like, I can't move, I can't breathe, I can't do all that. Either I'm gonna breathe or I'm gonna dance. And I gotta breathe to dance, so they said they're taking the corset off.
Period.
And they dresses got shorter.
Scandalous.
We love it.
Scandalous.
Yeah, so they was like above the knees. That was
Wow.
something back then. No, now people
The
walk
knees.
around with the skirts, you know, above their booty.
You ain't gotta call me out like that.
Yeah, so definitely was some different times back then.
Very.
Stuff that's, you know, normal to us now. It's such a defining cultural shift in America, right?
I would say so.
Yes.
So, based off what we talked about, why do you think the 20s was actually called the Roaring 20s? Like, roaring, that's a strange word to put in front of a decade.
It was a very extravagant time. It was that high before the low of the Great Depression in the 1930s.
Right.
So the 20s, they just went out with a big bang and it backfired, you know? But the Big Bang was fun and it was roaring.
Definitely.
Good answer.
Did you want to elaborate?
I agree with everything she just said.
Awesome. Okay. Another question. How do you think new innovations affected people's lives? Like new innovations for the home and automobile? How do you think that really affected people's lives during that
Made
time?
it easier for them. With, like you said, the cars getting around was much easier.
Another question. How do you think new innovations for the home and the automobile really affected people's lives during that time?
Well, for the automobiles, I would say that cars made it easier for people to get to different places, and like washers and dryers made it easier to wash clothes, dry clothes, instead of having to do everything, you know, by hand.
Yeah, so did you know that more than half of American families owned a car by 1929?
Really?
I did not.
That is new information.
I would also think that these new innovations made it easier to have more time on your hands. So
Exactly.
giving
Good
people
point.
more time to, you know, evolve and make more innovations.
Exactly. Good answers, good answers. So Carly, I have a question for you. How would you compare 19th, 20 styles of dance to dance of today?
Well, I would say that 1920s jazz crazes are, you can see them incorporated in jazz dances of today.
Okay. So you know, another thing that really boomed in the 1920s was radio. How do you think that affected people's lives?
More entertainment, more enjoyment in life rather than constant work and taking care of children.
Good answers. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in to Daily Dancer Live, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.